One piece of advice is if you look at a buffalo and a cow, when a storm is coming their way, a buffalo actually runs towards the storm. And then they're going to get through the storm really quick because a storm is coming, buffalo goes through. But a cow is going to run the opposite direction with the storm. So they're just going to keep going with the storm. And it feels like the cow's in the storm for a long, long time. Sometimes we just have to face the storm head on. And whatever that may be, whether it be cancer or brain injury or
Mental health champions. DK is here and he empowers others to build mental resilience, emotional grit, and physical strength through faith, mindset, and movement because his journey, it's one of perseverance and purpose. After walking through a decade of infertility, losing family members, and becoming the full-time caregiver for his wife during her battle with breast cancer, he also faced job loss, financial hardship, and spiritual exhaustion. Yet, through it all, he leaned into his faith, rebuilt his mindset, and now he helps others do the same. He writes on topics like mental health, caregiver burnout, purpose-driven living. So I love to have him on the show today as a testament to that you are not alone. You have a resource here, and no matter the adversity you face, you can come out shining and smiling like DK I see here today. So DK, thank you for joining me here on a mental health break.
yeah, thank you for having me. It's an honor.
Where are you streaming in from today?
Around Dallas, Texas area.
Okay, so summertime's coming to an end. I'm sure the heat's going down a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
I have the same troubles here in Florida. So welcome to the show. And everyone, welcome back to another show here on a mental health break. One of the top shows to let you know you are not alone. I want to thank you for tuning in and keeping this a top 5% global podcast because it helps us make a difference on a larger scale. We're brought to you today by Coming Alive podcastproduction.com. And as I mentioned, DK has overcome a lot. His story is the epitome of you are not alone. So I'd like to shift into that. DK, please share your story from wherever you feel comfortable.
I mean, decade of infertility. My wife struggled with a lot of health issues with endometriosis for 10 years, in and out of the hospital with different multiple surgeries. I go in depth with that on another podcast. You can check it out. It's called 6 Weeks to Fitness. But I mean, recently, my wife went through breast cancer in 2024. And when you hear the word cancer, it rocks your world, whether it be you yourself, a loved one, family members. My dad went through pancreatic cancer and it was very quick. But when you hear those words, like you almost kind of feel like you don't know what to do. And so this was January of 2024 when she got diagnosed. And then in February 1st, I disclosed to my employer about having a flexible work schedule and telling them, hey, this is what's going on. I would like to be at my wife's appointments. And so they're like, yeah, that's fine. And then a week later, they decided to lay me off, saying it was budget cuts, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't. And so now for me, I'm stressed, I'm overwhelmed, and I feel stuck because I can't help my wife. And so one thing that we kind of did was, well, let's learn about cancer and how we can heal from it. Because I think it's taking ownership. It's taking responsibilities because like when a doctor tells you like, oh, you need to do all these X treatments, blah, 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 blah. And most people would just agree like, okay, that's what the doctor says and that's fine. But then we asked the doctor, because we're reading this book called Crispy Cancer. Great resource for anyone dealing with cancer or loved ones with cancer. And it talks about a lot about your lifestyle and your foods that you're eating.
Okay.
And so we completely changed our diet based on his story and other people's story about cancer. And then we asked the doctor, like, what can we do with our diet? And the doctor's like, oh, you can eat whatever you want. You could eat donuts, you could eat hamburgers, just eat whatever you want. And we're like, well, that's not what this book is talking about. And so we ended up looking for different doctors. And since, I was laid off, my wife wasn't working at the time either because she quit. But then we're trying to figure out which doctor to see. We finally come up with one. And then as she starts treatments, we get this bill because we didn't, have insurance at the time. For one chemo treatment is $80,000. So for me, I'm really stressed. I'm really overwhelmed now. And I mean, luckily, I made a lot of phone calls and luckily, like, our insurance kicked in. So, like, for me, I was like, oh, how do people live like this? Like, and so for me, I was like, well, let's try to prevent some of these health issues with cancer or losing your job or something. And so I started writing a book. It was mainly for me because, like I said, I felt stressed, overwhelmed, and stuck. But I was like, well, I'm pretty sure there's other people out there that are in the same boat as I am. Not like with job loss and cancer, but that they're feeling stuck or overwhelmed and stressed. So it was for me, but I was like, well, I wanted to write it for other people as well
Yeah,
and help them.
sure.
Um, and like your show says that we're not alone. There's other people out there that are struggling with so many things. And to kind of give you an example, I relied on our faith, and there were people that just like came to us and just like randomly gave us money to pay for rent. And I was like, oh, wow, like who is this from? But I mean, it was within our like group of like church friends and things like that. And so, like, because there were times I did feel like I'm alone, like in this, like nobody else is going through this, like
Yeah.
nobody else is going through cancer, caregiving for their spouse, losing a job. And so, but people just like really pitched in and really like helped us like kind of pull us through. And so that's kind of like where my journey kind of started. And I just was like, well, when I lost my job that night, I came home, my wife and we prayed, but then I started laughing for, I don't know why. I was like, instead of asking like, why us? I started asking, well, why not us? What can we do? Maybe this might help someone in the future that we don't even know. Like, I would never have thought of being on a podcast and meeting amazing people. And so I think just that mental shift of asking why not us, and maybe this is something that we could help somebody else out there.
I love how you're displaying the power of your mindset, right? Not looking at things, why me, but turning a negative into a positive. So I certainly admire that. And going back to what he just said, everyone, there are other people struggling like you, unfortunately, but with that comes community. He mentioned the church was a great outlet for him and his family. What are some other things you did or still do maybe to take care of your mental health here, DK? As I know, it's not a one size fits all taking care of our mental health. Maybe some tips you can offer will help some of the members of our audience today.
Yeah, for me is to get help, whether it be finding an accountability partner, whether finding a mentor or professional help. But also for me, I'd like to exercise, and there's so many studies on exercise and the science behind it and how it makes you feel. And for me, like I like to do martial arts and Spartan races. There's something about like getting out there
There
and getting
is.
a sweat to kind of clear your mind, doing something hard that's like way above what you think at the moment. Because like those times when, you're trying to do, like a 50K Spartan race, that's not an easy task, which I've done, but it kind of helps train you to think about like, okay, this is only a season. This is only at a moment in time, whether it be physically or dealing with cancer. It's only a time being. And part of it is like, how are you showing up? How are you showing up for your loved ones? Includes getting help from accountability partner for them to ask you like, hey, how are you really doing? Like, or when if you're exercising, hey, I'm going to the gym. Are you going to come with me? It's kind of the same thing, and it's to like help each other, bring each other up, and like those are like practicals for me. That's really helped.
I absolutely love what you shared there. Everyone, these are things you can adapt. If you have not tried them yet, I definitely always encourage you to try them. Don't write it off until you try. It might just be the tool you need to keep going. He also talked about writing earlier. I know for me, writing is a great stress reliever. I'm able to just put all my thoughts out there and separate my mind for a second. Very therapeutic. I know you embody, like you said, and you just previewed with your nutrition and your exercise, a whole person wellness outlook. Can you describe that for us?
Yeah, I mean, whole person wellness, it goes from your mental, your spiritual health, your physical health, and it's looking at all things, not just like I'm having a mental health issue. Well, there's a physical side to it too, as well. Like your mind and body are all connected. And when you kind of leave one without the other, it's almost kind of like an imbalance where you might be like super physically fit, but like your mental is like, you're saying to yourself, I'm not worth it or I'm garbage. And but if you tie it all together, like that's like a whole well-being, whole person, because your body's a whole entire ecosystem. It doesn't work without one or the other. Your brain can't just be on its own. Your brain tells your body what to do. So like
Right.
I feel like so many people have it like wrong because people think it's like, "Oh, I just need to be physically fit and I'll be okay." But then they're not thinking about like, "Well, where's my mental state at?" They have a stressed out
I
job
love
or
that.
and so, yeah, it's all connected.
And that's like, even with exercise, many think, oh, the physical benefits are why we go to the gym or take a run or bike. For me, the mental health benefits are far more valuable to me than physical. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would agree. Definitely.
It's definitely something that helps me clear my mind. Again, not everyone loves to exercise, but I do want to remind everyone that exercise can look like a simple walk outside your house on the sidewalk. It can be doing a tremendous accomplishment and feat like he described with his race. Everyone's workout plans, exercise regimen, body type, everything's different. Just get started. A nice walk, I promise, will clear your head. I'm even taking this interview outside because I love the way sunlight feels on me. It's a mood elevator. It keeps me in the right headspace.
Just going outside, getting some
Yeah.
sun. You're outside right now. I mean, yeah, I talk about that in my book. Just even simply walking. So many of us are vitamin D deficient. We don't get so much sunlight, and we're at a desk all day long. And so it's like, yeah, go out, get some walking done, get some sunlight, spend some time in nature. It's very healing. And kind of going back to your point of the community, I relied on our faith. And so for me, a morning routine for me, I talk about just having a morning routine in my book as well. Morning routine that I do is, I read the Bible every single day, and there's so many moments in the Bible saying that we are not alone. Like a scripture that comes to mind for me, I'll just go ahead and read it. It's Isaiah 41:10. It says, "So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." And so for me, yeah, I'm not alone. Like I do feel that God is with us even during these tough times. And so that's definitely helped us out is to rely on our faith.
I love that. And thank you for sharing that. I think there's a lot of powerful quotes inside that when you are reading that can relate to present day. And you did a great job at sharing that. But another area that unfortunately you can add value to is maybe advice for male caregivers. You admirably shared your story and your family's story. What are some advice you can give to someone who was in your shoes, got that news, but didn't have all the tools in their tool chest that you currently have today?
Keep learning. Learn about like figure out your spouse. Learn about them, what makes them tick. Because for a female, there's a lot of anxiety that goes with it. And, we're called in the society as men to be the strong ones and be there emotionally for your spouse or for your, loved one that's going through cancer or whatever type of care that you're doing. And, learn about different topics of it might be an autoimmune disease. Learn about that, help them out in what you can do. Take responsibility, take ownership of it. Because it's not only them that's dealing with it. I mean, it's you, but get help as well. Learn to channel those emotions. Like we as men were taught to like kind of suck it up and
Mhm.
don't say anything. But no, actually go talk to people. Like it helps so much to just to even not to find a solution or anything, but to really express like, hey, I'm really feeling this, or even journaling it down. Like for
And
me, I started journaling, and then my journaling turned into the book that I wrote, because I was like, this has got to be said and needs to help someone else out.
so
And so,
many
yeah,
great points. So many great points. And I hope this encourages some people to put their thoughts on paper or on the keyboard and get it out because your story is bigger than you. I now would like to ask you for one more piece of advice. If there's anyone listening on today who is struggling, having a tough time, and can't find a way to see the other side, what advice can you offer?
I'll give you an example. We go through storms, we go through challenges in life. Life is not this linear path. Uh, we don't overcome adversity in one day. I mean, Rome wasn't built in a day. I mean, the earth wasn't built in a day.
Right.
And so, one piece of advice is if you look at a buffalo and a cow, when a storm is coming their way, a buffalo actually runs towards the storm. And then they're going to get through the storm really quick because a storm is coming, buffalo goes through. But a cow is going to run the opposite direction with the storm. So they're just going to keep going with the storm. And it feels like the cow's in the storm for a long, long time. Sometimes we just have to face the storm head on. And whatever that may be, whether it be cancer or brain injury or an accident, and just to really face it, kind of acknowledge it, but then maybe adjust because maybe your dreams died. Like our dreams died with not having kids. And so our dream was, okay, well, a new dream. Let's act on that new dream. So it's kind of three A's: acknowledge what you're going through, adjust whatever is that needs to happen, and then act on that new adjustment. And
I have
so that would be a good starting point.
I think that denial will get us nowhere. So, as you're saying, acceptance, dealing with it head on will go a long way and hopefully move things along in a quicker manner. So, thank you for sharing that. And before I get your contact info, name of the book one more time, where we can find the book.
Okay, yeah. Name of the book is Mindset Metamorphosis. It's on Amazon. And if you go to my website, dkkang.com, and if you sign up for my newsletter, I'm actually giving away the first chapter away for free as a free download. And if you really like it, go ahead and pick it up on Amazon. Yeah, so that's my contact. My email is dk@dkkang.com. I respond more to email than social media at the moment. So
All right. Well, thank you for sharing that, everyone. I don't know what you're waiting for. Go check out the book. Go say hello. And DK, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to join us right here on a mental health break. Everyone, be sure to subscribe to stay current with our mental health advocates. We'll definitely bring on DK again next year to catch us up with all the great things in his life. But with that, we're signing off today. DK, thank you so much.
thank you.
Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.